Hello everyone, welcome to the electromagnetic engineering lecture series. Today we are going to study about the electric flux density and the Gauss law. What is meant by electric flux density and how it is denoted. So electric flux density, what is the relation between electric flux density and electric field intensity that we have to see. And we have to see the difference between electric flux density and that electric field intensity, that is also we have to see. So E bar is given by electric field intensity and D bar is given by the electric flux density. So what is meant by electric flux? So suppose there is a charge, so this is the charge inside this is the charge, and suppose the charge is moving around and suppose this charge is going out. So after some time, when you will remove this charge, that time some charges and you will remove the contact. So that time these charges are available on the surface. So this is called as an electric flux, and the electric flux will pass through the perpendicular to the surface. So this is the outer surface. To that outer surface, these lines will be perpendicular. So these lines, and this is electric flux is given by the psi, and suppose only one charge is there, so total electric flux is given by the q, psi is equal to q. So that is the, you have to represent this psi is equal to q. So electric flux that I have explained. Now we have to see the relation between the E bar and D bar. So first of all, what we have to write, that E bar is equal to, so what is meant by E bar? E bar is, for the point charge we are saying E bar is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square AR bar. And now we have to see that how we have to find out with the relation between the D bar. So what is meant by now electric flux density? Next part we have to see, that is electric flux density. So what is meant by electric flux density? That is given by the D bar. So electric flux density is what we call that charge per unit area. Suppose there is suppose sphere we are taking, the only part we are taking, that is sphere. So D bar is equal to, so D bar, what we call as a D bar is equal to charge per unit area is Q divided by 4 pi r square. So this radius is we consider as a r. Okay, so that's why this D bar is equal to Q divided by 4 pi r square. So that is the D bar. Now see the relation between this, and we have to redirect these lines, that AR bar, unit vector is AR bar. That's why we are doing D bar, it is also unit vector quantity. So that's why we have to add unit vector, that is AR bar. So see the difference between E bar and D bar. So suppose what we can, E bar is given by Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square AR bar, and D bar is equal to, Q divided by 4 pi r square AR bar. Okay, so how we can redefine this is, D bar is equal to, or that E bar, D bar is equal to epsilon E bar. So if you multiply this epsilon with the E bar, you will get D bar. So that is the E bar epsilon. So epsilon 0 you can say for the vacuum, or epsilon is normal also for the different materials. So this is the relation between D bar and E bar. So that will require this relations in every time. Now we have to find out E bar. This is E bar due to the point charge, point charge So E bar due to the point charge is Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square a r bar, and D bar due to the point charge is given by Q divided by 4 pi r square a r bar. You just have to remove this epsilon 0 and you will get this D bar is equal to Q divided by 4 pi r square a r bar. Next is for line charge. Rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon 0 r a r bar. Okay, and for line charge is D bar. What you have to remove? You just have to remove this epsilon 0. Rho L divided by 2 pi r a r bar. Okay. Now next part is for sheet charge. For sheet charge, it is rho s divided by 2 epsilon a n bar. Similarly, for sheet charge, rho s divided by 2 a n bar. Okay, so that is the way you have to define the D bar. So it is totally similar to the E bar, just have to replace the epsilon 0 where you have to add that you have to see. So that is the electric flux density. Now we will move on to the Gauss law. So now we will see the Gauss law. So there is a structure. In this structure there is some area we have to consider, that is ds, and the flux density, that is D bar, is crossing across, how much charge is crossing across this area, it is called as a D bar. So this charge is available whole area. Now what is flux? That flux is integration of D bar dot ds bar, means you have to take a dot product of this D bar and ds bar, whole ds bar, and integration for this total area. So that is D bar dot ds bar. So we have to now see the proof for the Gauss law. So is equal to Q. Okay, so that we have to see, that we should prove. First of all, we will see what is D bar. So D bar for the spherical coordinate system, it will be a Q divided by 4 pi r square a r bar. Now we have to find out, here is a ds bar. You have to find out the ds bar. So what is ds bar? If you consider the sphere, so what is constant? So constant is radius and other two components. So other two components are r sin theta and r sin theta, d theta, and r d phi. Okay, and a constant is a r bar. So r square sin theta, d theta, d phi, a r bar is the ds bar. Okay, for this area, ds bar. So ds bar is equal to r square sin theta, d theta, d phi, a r bar. So that we have calculated. Now we have to take psi into the account, and we will take this left hand side. Psi is equal to integration of d bar dot ds bar. So we know that d bar here we have calculated, we know the ds bar, so here we have calculated, and we have to find out. So what we have to put the two integration, because ds bar. So d bar dot, what is ds bar? R square sin theta, d theta, d phi, a r bar. Okay, so what is d bar? So d bar is, the limits we have to put is 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi. 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi, and d bar is given by q divided by 4 pi r square ar bar r square sin theta d theta d phi ar bar. So ar bar dot ar bar, this ar bar dot ar bar is equal to 1, and what you will get cancel again, r square will cancel, so 4 pi is there. Okay, so what now we have to see 0 to 2 pi is for phi, so we have to take the d phi only, so phi is 0 to 2 pi, that is psi is equal to phi having the limits 0 to 2 pi and integration integration 0 to pi, this is for sin theta. Now q divided by 4 pi, then sin theta d theta. Okay, now 0 to 2 pi is 2 pi. Again q will be, we have to take common, 4 pi, integration of 0 to pi, integration of sin theta d theta. Integration of sin theta is minus cos theta, so 2 pi get cancelled, so q divided by 2 minus cos theta sorry 0 to pi. So if you will put the limits and you will calculate, it will be cos pi is equal to minus 1 minus 1 2, so q into 2 divided by 2, so 2 get cancelled, it will be a q, so psi is equal to q. So that is the way you have to prove the Gauss law. What is use of the Gauss law? Gauss law tells you that when there will be an area they have given and how much flux will be crossed through that area is equal to total charge available into that area. So that is called as a Gauss law. So Gauss law is useful for many applications that we will study in the next lectures. So we will see some problems on the Gauss law in the next lectures. So till then, thank you very much for today's lecture.